Let me start from the top. For years, Madam President, Republicans and Democrats have spoken about the need to invest more in our nation's infrastructure. We are a country the size of a continent. Every state has critical infrastructure demands. Bridges that need repair, railways that need maintenance, sewer systems that desperately need expansion and renovation. Over a month ago now, a bipartisan group of senators announced a deal with the White House on a framework for a bipartisan infrastructure bill, a breakthrough moment. Ever since, I have committed both publicly and privately to put that bill on the Senate floor. Unfortunately, last week our Republican colleagues prevented the Senate from taking a procedural step to begin the debate. But I want to be very clear. I am fully committed to passing a bipartisan infrastructure bill. As a majority leader, I have the ability to move to reconsider the vote to begin debate on that bill this week. Since senators are still finalizing the text of the agreement, senators should be on notice that the Senate may stay in session through the weekend in order to finish the bill. Let me say that again. Senators should be on notice that the Senate may stay in session through the weekend in order to finish the bipartisan infrastructure bill. And as I've said before, further delays may mean that the Senate will remain in session into the previously scheduled August recess. We have reached a critical moment. The bipartisan group of senators has had nearly 5 weeks of negotiations since they first announced an agreement with President Biden. It's time for everyone to get to yes and produce an outcome for the American people. I understand that bipartisan achievements are difficult in our polarized times. Extreme partisans are always rooting for failure. Look no further than the former president. Just this morning, former President Trump released a statement urging Republicans to retreat from all bipartisan negotiations on infrastructure until after the midterm elections in 2022, maybe longer. Again, the former president said this morning that Republicans are weak fools and losers, his words, for even talking to Democrats, and suggested that the Republicans should not negotiate at all unless they're in the majority. Fox News personalities, following his lead, are now encouraging primaries for Republican senators who support a bipartisan infrastructure deal. Look, there are always going to be radical voices on the far right who brook no compromise. But that's only a recipe for obstruction and gridlock. We have the opportunity right now to actually accomplish something good for the American people. Will our Republican colleagues follow the absurd demands of a disgraced former president and his media allies? Or will they get a good bipartisan deal over the finish line? Republican senators must ignore former President Trump if we're ever going to make progress for the American people. He's rooting for our entire political system to fail. I and the rest of my Democratic colleagues are rooting for a deal. Now, on nominations. The Senate will not remain idle in the meantime. This week we'll consider several highly qualified nominees to the Biden administration. Tonight, the Senate will invoke cloture on Todd Kim, someone the senator from Illinois has just spoken about, to serve as the Assistant Attorney General and the head of the Environmental and Natural Resources Division of the Justice Department, where he worked as a lawyer for nearly 8 years. The son of Korean immigrants, Mr. Kim fell in love with America's natural treasures at a young age when his parents took him on an RV trip across the American West. After tonight, he'll be in a position to defend those very treasures by making sure our environmental laws are enforced, our federal lands are maintained, and our relationship with native tribes is respected. I look forward to confirming his nomination. Senators should also be aware that there may be additional votes on nominations this week, including members of the National Labor Relations Board and potentially votes to advance nominees from our Senate committees. The Senate has a constitutional duty to advise and consent on presidential appointments. We'll continue that important work this week. I yield the floor.